welcome to my channel, Madeline Holistic Life Coach. 5 steps to a healthier mindset. My first podcast was an introduction to my channel. I'd shared a little bit about myself and also what you could expect from my podcast. Over the next 3 months, I would like to welcome you all from wherever you are around the globe. I hope that you find these podcasts informative, encouraging, let's say food for thoughts, and inspiring. If you are tuning in for the first time to my podcast, welcome. And just to share a little bit about myself, I'm a holistic life coach with years of experience and expertise, also in counseling. The holistic approach is an alternative way of viewing life and using various skills. I'd say the best qualities that people have said about me is that I'm able to put people at ease, I'm a people person, and I have a calming nature. That's enough about me. Today we'll be looking at a step 1, series 1, called the starting point. As we've got to start from somewhere in life, the subject matter, the sort of things in our lives that can cause blockages. For example, situations in life we may find ourselves in. It could be our environment, it could be people, lifestyle. There could be many reasons for blockages. At the end of this session, I will share possible theories, tips, suggestions, also words of encouragement that will enable us to move forward. Let's begin. Have you ever felt in life that you are always trying to go forward? Then you may feel that something blocks your path or life against you, that you can never seem to finish the race. I think perhaps we've all felt this at some point or stage in our life. And if you are able to push through this, then that's great. It only becomes a problem when it becomes repetitive or a pattern of behavior. One of these theories can be as it is a stumbling block. Do we have many thoughts going on in our mind? Or what sort of things can become in our lives that become overwhelming or unclear? Do you ever question yourself as to why it always happens to me? Why is it always me? Why is it always me? Do you ever feel or question as to why do some people make it in life and become successful? And no matter how hard you try, you never quite succeed. Let's take a look at some possibility and what sort of things we can do to change or remove some of these negatives and turn them around to positives. Let's take a look at some of the possible causes. It could be our environment. It could be that we are living on a busy street or a noisy traffic outside. It could be also within our own home, TV noise, music playing, people chatting. The list could be endless. All these things can become a blockage in our lives. It's important for us and for our minds to find rest, to readjust, to reset itself. It is also important for us to clear the mind and to make space for the mind to grow, to develop. Planning. We need to find that space so that we can plan things ahead. Our brain is like a computer and needs time to reset itself, to process, and to remember little things that are very important to us in life. Remember, What I'm sharing with you are theories and suggestions and tips. Here are a few tips that we can do to remove some of these blockages. Do keep in mind that some of these things are out of our control. So only focus on the things that you can change or control regarding change in our lives. Regarding your environment, it may not always be possible to move house, but if that is an option and would give you the peace of mind, then perhaps consider your options. Also, if you are living within a busy household with various noises, can block your thoughts and can also increase your anxiety levels. Try and find yourself a space that you can switch off. If that's not possible, make time for yourself. Perhaps once everyone's gone to sleep, you could read a book, play gentle music that helps you kind of relax and enables you to departmental your thoughts. Write your thoughts down in a notebook. Buy yourself a little book. Make a list of priorities of things. Find things that suit you to relax. Another possible blockage could be the people in our lives. Have you ever found that when you share about your plans or goals or aspiration, they throw a dampener or a spanner in the work so that you don't continue with that plan or goal? It could also be certain people that are around you that somehow you just find their energy, they feel negative. That as soon as they leave, you either feel drained or the atmosphere feels negative. And you may find it hard then to try and process why you feel that way. Or you just can't focus on your plans because that energy that you felt has now blocked your thoughts. These traits that I have discussed can often become your own downfall to your own happiness or to your own success. Once you are aware of these traits, you can then work towards removing these blockages. This would be a good point to start to analyze these relationships. Ask yourself, what is it about that relationship? Why is that person in your life? What do you get out of it? Look at the dynamics and ask yourself, could this be why you are not prospering? Why you are not moving forward into bigger and better things? Then ask yourself, perhaps, the reason as to why they may be behaving like this towards you. Or is it that you are yin and yang? Could it be rivalry between relationships? Could it be jealousy? Could it be they are afraid your life is taking off and they are afraid that you are going to leave them behind? That they are trying to crush your dreams. Ask yourself, have you grown out of this friendship, relationship? Could this also be your workplace, your colleague, afraid you will rise up the ladder and leave them behind, etc., and want to hold you back from progressing up that ladder? Take a step back and look at the bigger picture. See if there are any adjustments that you can make to free yourself from these unhealthy situations. If for any reason you are unable to step away from these relationships or friendships, then a possible solution is to find ways within your mind to departmental these thoughts. Work towards to not allow yourself to let other people's negative thoughts or words influence your progression. Life is a process and a journey, a long journey. Along the way, we will learn more about ourselves. And one of the final suggestions of blockages could be ourselves. We could be our own worst enemy. Ask ourselves these questions. Do we always blame others when things go wrong in our lives? Do we take ownership, responsibility for our own destiny, for the path and choices that we make? Do we give ourselves a mind health check? Do we take care of our own mind the same way we take care of the rest of our body? Do we check ourselves regularly to see if there are any areas in our life that we need to work on or change? Going back to the start of the title, the July podcast, 5 steps to a healthier mindset. Keep in mind why we need to keep our lives clear of blockages and unnecessary blockages and baggage. While we are doing the health check on our mind, we also need to look deeper into ourselves. Look at what we are creating within our lives. Have we put up an invisible barrier to stop ourselves from being hurt? Have we been creating a wall around ourselves that has now become our own life's prison? Have we substituted our feelings for alternatives to stop ourselves from feeling? And this has now become a stumbling block. We can become so used to these patterns of thinking, behavior, that we become what we process. These blockages can take over our lives, our health, and perhaps later on in life will develop our mental state and how we view life and deal with life. Now, finally, let's bring some light to the subject and what sort of positive steps we can do to remove these blockages and work on a new thought process. We could look at writing down our thoughts. Buy yourself a notepad or a fancy book. Write down the things you'd like to change in your life, small steps and goals that are achievable. Remember, everyone is different and the process must be suited to what you know you can accomplish. Otherwise, it will become another block to your list that you don't want. Look at ways you can make mind shifts to a happier and productive life. If you have a barrier, look at ways and why they're there. If you need to speak to someone about it, do. There is no shame in asking for help or support. Seek resolutions if that is what it's going to take to help you to remove this stumbling block. If you are able to, within your own remit, please try and seek peace and resolution within yourself. If you can't speak to the person that is causing the blockage, sometimes we have to find peace within ourselves. As I bring this session to a close, I will leave with you positive words of encouragement. Stay strong. There's nothing in life that we cannot conquer. Every step is a step, whether big, small, tiny. Every smile is a smile. Every laughter is a laughter. Love yourself. Love who you are. And also remember to pat yourself on the back and say, well done. That the race has just begun. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being part of this session. I hope you've enjoyed it.